Hello there, and thanks again for joining us. I'm really glad that you did, because today we're going to be creating this large expressionistic flower. This type of thing would look absolutely fantastic in a lounge room or as a conversation piece. We're going to use quick drying acrylics for the undercoat and oils for the top coat for that look that you can only get from oil paint. It's relatively easy and quite quick, so let's get into it. So the support that I've used with this project is the 1 metre by 75 centimetre double thick canvas, but of course this project would work on a much larger canvas or a much smaller canvas. It's up to you, the principles are still the same. For the undercoat, I'll be using Silver Series Phthalo and some fluoro purple. I'll also be using some modelling paste and some Montmart acrylic gloss medium. For the top coat, I'll be using oil paints, and I'll be using some titanium white, some orange red, violet, phthalo blue, purple and mauve. I'll also be using a stainless steel brush washer, a number 10 filbert chunking and a 75mm artist wide Taklon. I'll also be using a palette knife. This size and type is not too important, and I'll be using some tear off paper palettes. Incidentally, if you want to know more about these materials, then jump onto our webpage at www.montmart.net and you'll find lots more information there. So download your PDF and let's get started. So let's draw up our flower, shall we? This drawing couldn't be easier. Start with the central point, the stamen, and then create each petal, petal by petal. Make them quite acute at the end and fairly stylized. Now that our flower is drawn up, we can add some dimension, some depth and some texture. And these important elements can be created with Montmart modelling paste. And to apply our modelling paste, I'll be using the number 15 palette knife, and this is the largest in the range, and it's a really good knife to have in your kit. So let's lay a bit of this modelling paste onto the high point of each petal. As I said, lay this onto the edge of the top part of each petal. You will notice I have roughly shaded the underlying parts of the petals to remind me. Lay this on with the flat part of the knife and remove the excess paste off the edge of the next petal. Leave the middle free of paste and work your way around the entire flower. If you like, you can speed dry this with a hairdryer. Well, our modelling paste is now dry and we can start painting. And this first painting step is to tint the canvas. And to tint the canvas, I'm using a Montmart acrylic fluoro purple. And although we'll be glazing over this, this will provide a really great base. So let's get this paint on. I lay the paint directly out of the tube and smear it over the canvas. It looks a bit rough, but that is what we want. We don't want it to be too smooth. This helps with the texture and interest we are trying to achieve. Finally, I add a spiral shape into the stamen area and further shape it with the corner of the tube. For the glaze, I'll be laying over some phthalo blue in the Silver Series acrylic, but I'll be mixing a little bit of gloss medium in with it so it's a little bit translucent. And I'll be applying it with my 50mm Artist Taklon brush. So let's get this paint on. Without doing a glaze, this colour would be impossible to achieve. We are laying on the blue, but it is showing us slightly purple. This mixture is 1 part phthalo to 5 parts acrylic gloss medium. But if you added more gloss medium, then more of that underlying red would be coming through. Time now to apply the oil paint. And this whole painting is really about purples. So on your palette, lay out some purple, some violet, some mauve, and a little bit of phthalo. Put a little dollop of white beside each one, and I'll show you how to apply the paint to each petal. Here I'm using the number 10 Chungking Hog Hair Filbert for this application, and the basic order across each petal is purple to mauve to violet and then to phthalo, which is the darkest tone. Blend all the colours into each other, but don't overblend or the textural quality won't be as apparent. And make sure some of that underpainting shows through. Simple paintings like this really allow one to experiment with their brush strokes. And if you haven't tried oils before, I think this would be a really great introduction project. The blending you get from oil paints is quite unique. It is very rich and smooth. Well, this painting is all but finished, but I think the middle part of the flower needs a bit of oomph, so I'm going to lay out some orange red and just dry brush the highlights on there. Use the back side of the brush to do this. Well, there you have it. A large flower that I think is kind of expressionistic. If you do like painting, then you've got to come over to Montmart TV. You can find that on our webpage at www.montmart.net. We have lots more paintings there, as well as our Facebook, our blogs, and you can even join our family. If you subscribe to Family Feed, then you'll get a free fun family project sent to you each week, as well as lots of other goodies. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week, and remember to always keep on painting. See you next time.